much understand your craft to that extent. But I feel like just applying the pressure definitely helps you push to that next level. Like I have some friends as well that they trade also, but they could be doing a certain lot size the entire time. But
welcome back to Young Smart Money with me, your host, Apple Crater. This is one of the most fun episodes I have done in a while. We sat down with Q Banks today to chat about what he is doing over at Wall Street Academy and how he is helping people and teaching people how to effectively trade the currency and the foreign exchange markets to profit in their own lives and really change their lives for the better. So Q is somebody who I came across online. He's got an extremely dedicated and passionate following that really supports him and his mission, and he treats them very well. Okay, he's providing a ton of valuable content online when it comes to trading, when it comes to bettering your life and just increasing your life overall. So this guy, he's doing amazing things. I knew I had to get in contact with him as soon as I came across his content. So I'm super stoked to sit down with him here today and chat about mindset, chat about trading, and chat about everything that you need to know to take your life to that next level, to really elevate and escalate where you are in life. Because Q really, he came from a place where he was just like flipping shoes. He wasn't really doing anything huge, but he was able to transform his life in a relatively very short amount of time, to be honest, okay? In under 5 years, he was able to really transform his life for the better. So I'm really stoked to sit down with him and get into this conversation, allow him to share his message with you, his story, because it is a very inspiring one. So without further ado, I want you guys, whether you're walking the dog, whether you're at the gym right now, I want you to sit back, relax, plug in, and enjoy this episode of Young Smart Money with Q Banks. Q, welcome to Young Smart Money. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Enjoying the South Florida life,
Exactly, man. I'm jealous. It's getting warmer up here, but I'm in Wisconsin right now, and it is definitely not South Florida.
I've experienced Wisconsin. Trust me.
It is
I'm going
something.
back anytime soon.
Nope, not at all, man. I'm ready to get out of here. But Q, our listeners, they heard a little bit about you in the intro, but for those of them that aren't familiar with you and what you're currently up to right now, could you give us like a 60-second snapshot of what you're working on right now? And then we're gonna sort of rewind in time and work our way back up.
Okay, I need a couple minutes actually. No,
okay.
Pretty much like a little overview of like what I do. I teach people on how to actually trade inside currency market, but also the currency market, cryptos, indexes, anything dealing with charts. Like that's like my forte. I have that, which is pretty much like a full online course platform that they can actually learn from. And I have an in-person course platform as well that students fly from all around the entire world to come to my 5-day courses to actually get like that in-person experience. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
That's like the overview of like the main stuff.
All right, perfect. I'm excited to dive into that. But first of all, I want to touch on your early upbringing and sort of your childhood, because I'm always fascinated by where our guests start out from. So talk to us about like middle school, high school years. Were you somebody who was getting into entrepreneurship at a young age? Were you somebody that took school very seriously? What did that look like for you?
School in my family was always a thing till it's like, we have to take seriously because it's kind of like a foundation. Like there was never ever like an option when it came to school in my family. Like you have to go to school to get good grades, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
Dropping out of school was never even an option, never even a thought for anybody in my family actually. So like that was I'm pretty good on that part. But as far as like my entrepreneurship journey, it started from maybe about 7th grade. Like I think everybody experienced the whole selling CDs, the mixtape, that kind of stuff. I did that like back in like 7th grade. I used to like download, all the hot new songs and everything that everybody wanted, put them on like a mixed CD, and then sold them, like for like $5 a piece, and that's how it started out. And then as time went on, when I got into like higher grades, another hustle started, same mentality, but it's a different product.
What was the drive to the hustle for you? Was it just like something to do? Were you fascinated by money? What was the drive?
Not even, man, because actually like I couldn't get a job at the time. Like I had some friends and everything that were getting like small little gigs like here and there, but I'm born in Jamaica. Like I got my green card when I was 20 years old, so it's like anything that was before that age, it was all just like I had no other way to get money, so I had to find another way on how to actually go about it. So that's how it actually started, and I actually embedded in that mentality from middle school. So anything that I could actually find to actually sell back or to benefit from in any kind of way, I was down for it. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you gotta stay hungry.
Yeah, always, always. And plus, like, I always wanted, like, like that new shoe or the new clothes and everything. Because back in like middle school, like my dad used to give us like about, I think, a couple $100 just to buy like a black pair of shoe and a white pair of shoe, a couple school uniform T-shirts, khaki pants, black pants, brown pants, and that's it. That's our clothes for the entire year. So I mean, anything that I wanted extra, I had to actually pay for myself. So I had to actually find money another kind of way. And asking my parents for money wasn't even an option because I have a lot of brothers, 30 siblings. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
30 siblings in total, man. It's crazy. So I mean, I was definitely just a one out of the bunch that were asking. So I was not trying to go that route to bother my parents and everything for income in any kind of way. I'd rather make
Absolutely.
it. I'd rather make it.
So you started making money in middle school, in high school. Talk to us about graduating high school and what that looked like for you, because clearly school was a big thing for your family.
Yeah.
What was that process looking like for you on deciding whether or not to go to college?
I mean, I couldn't go to college. That's the thing. I couldn't go to college. So it's like I did very not like crazy good in high school, but I did very, very well for myself.
Sure.
I graduated with like, I think it was like a 3.3 or a 3.4 GPA, which is
Okay.
definitely good enough. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
college was not in like my vision because I couldn't go. Like I never had documents to go. Like a lot of people don't actually understand like the whole documentation thing. Like when it comes to a person from another country, because without documents you can't go to college, you can't get a scholarship, you can't do anything. You know what I'm saying? So like I was running track and all that stuff, and even like my coach told me like, yo, bro, like it's possible that you could even get like a core like a 25% scholarship, but I couldn't even apply for it because no papers. So
Mm.
all that was just like a big headache for me. So like even after graduating high school, once again, I had to find another product, same hustle, another product, and that's how it pretty much kept on going. So like everything that I actually started from middle school, that mentality actually went through high school. Um, jailbreaking PSPs and PSPs, selling it back, jailbroken, unlocking iPhones, all that stuff pretty much like went all throughout high school and has evolved over time. So I actually became like that one person to actually go to get anything that you need, phones, games, anything. I was
Mm.
that dude.
So you were getting into tech pretty early on.
Hell yeah, yeah, yeah. Like technology is like one thing that always like fascinated me. I literally had like every single iPhone. So it's like ever since I seen literally every single iPhone, from like the iPhone 2G, the 3G, 3GS, everything. So I mean, tech definitely it definitely fascinated me for the main fact that how clean and crisp like the glass looks on an iPhone and the camera looks and all that stuff. So I mean, things and everything of that nature I got into pretty early.
Okay, that's interesting. So when did you get exposed to the currency markets at first? Like, what was your first exposure to trading?
I mean, it was always a concept like that they showed like back in high school, like economics class, like they brought it up, like stocks and whatnot. But
Hmm.
I tell people all the time, like once you're familiar with like something in that industry, it could be stocks, it could be indexes or anything, like you pretty much understand all the other paths and everything that's linked to like that one main topic. So stocks was like one thing that I actually dabbled with when I was like around 20 years old, and some stock options. And then from there, I was familiar with other markets like currencies and whatnot that were also there as well. I got introduced to indexes like later on, but at the same time, like I knew about currencies. Like it was in the midst of things, but I never had the full knowledge on how to actually trade it because I wasn't really focused on it like back then.
Mhm.
But stock options was like one thing that I was dabbling in for quite a while. And then later on, I actually got introduced to Forex again from a couple friends. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay, so talk about that experience. Did you have any mentors in this space? Did you have people showing you the ropes, or like how did that transition happen between like the technology flip into the forex trading?
Honestly, man, like when it comes to a person that asks me like who's my mentor or whatnot, like
Sure.
and out of all honesty, like I never had a mentor. Like a mentor is a person like that you could call upon or that could actually guide you to actually get to a certain point, right? Like what I do to my students of like Wall Street Academy and like
Yeah.
whatnot. I never had that. you know? So, but I've always been a person that was always like self-motivated by actually keeping my vision in mind the entire time as to how I'm going about things. Or if I'm getting better at a certain craft. I pretty much understand concepts very, very easily. And that's what actually drove me to just get better and just like want to like gain more knowledge on stuff. So a lot of things I actually did like when it comes to business or on the charts, most of it is just based off pure experience, honestly. Like, don't get me wrong, like I did meet people over time on my journey that helped me out certain ways. It could have been something like a certain statement that they could have said to help me out. Like one statement that somebody told me like probably like 4 years ago now. She had told me like, and I tell every class this that I teach and everything, I was like, yo, the most confident people will make the most amount of money inside of markets. And that stuck with me, you know what I'm saying? Because that was just like a simple statement, but it meant so much. Like, yo, like, if you're not confident about what you're doing, then you're not gonna, be prosperous in it. So like anything that you're doing, you have to actually go full-fledged at it, be confident about your knowledge as you're going about it. And if you're not, then you're gonna kind of like limit yourself to even like get to that next level. And I've never ever had that, because I took like my same confidence that I took, that I had like when I was playing sports back in high school and whatnot. I applied that same concept of my confidence into the charts. The same exact confidence. I'm studying all day, all night. So when I get back on the charts now, I'm not doubting myself in any kind of way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I went about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can tell just by talking to you that you're a very, very confident person. So for a listener who's maybe just getting started trading, they're just getting started in whatever venture they're pursuing, what would you tell them to help them develop their confidence? Because I talk to a lot of people who don't have that confidence. It's not natural for them. So what would you tell that person?
I find that mind blowing that is not confidence. That's not common actually. But for the main fact that like you have to practice these things in your everyday life, like even like with how you're going about when you walk into a room, like is your chest high, or are you like slumped over? Like all that says, about the kind of approach that you're actually having on everybody else. But to actually even like build up your confidence and everything, just like just understand that like you're studying and so on for a certain reason. So like, why doubt yourself when it comes to a test time? You know what I'm saying? So all that definitely applies to just like getting better with your confidence levels and whatnot. And
Okay.
And what was the other part of the question?
I mean, that was basically it, just like how you would develop that. But then the next thing that I want to ask you about is like, I get a lot of people talking to me that they don't think they're ready. They don't think they're ready to take that next step. They don't think they're ready to start trading. They don't think they're ready to get started. What would you tell that person? How do they know when they've learned enough? How do you know when
you're never quote unquote ready? You know what I'm saying? Like you're never quote unquote ready to quit your job comfortably. Like you're never quote unquote ready to do anything, But the best thing with like things that I've experienced and I personally love I'm speaking to all like the younger generation that's upcoming now, because they're so well, a lot of them is very, very coachable now, but you're never ever going to be ready to take that next leap in life. It could be starting a new business, talking in front of people. Like you're never technically super quote unquote ready to your standards. But the best thing with me is that like I love actually just jumping into the battlefield and then I'll find my way out. You know what I'm saying? That's the best thing. Like I just jump in and I'll figure out the rest later on. I feel like that's a big thing with entrepreneurship as well. Like they have a picture that I posted this one time on my Instagram. The person like jumped off of a cliff and then he said, "Yo, an entrepreneur builds a plane on the way down." You know what I'm saying? Like you figure out how you're gonna actually fly like later on, but he made the jump. That's the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's like just start. Just start, dabble, fall in love with the process, and eventually you'll come to a point that you'll become a bit more passionate about what you're actually aiming for actually developing that craft that you have in mind.
Absolutely. So talk to us a little bit about the challenges that you face, because I'm sure anytime that I jump into something, anytime I'm sure you jump into something as well, you're going to be faced with roadblocks. So what were some of the challenges you faced at first, and how were you able to get around those?
So many fucking roadblocks. I mean, I've been dealing with the roadblocks for quite a while now. Honestly, I mean, even till this day, like I hit certain roadblocks that help me develop as a person as well. The first roadblock that you might experience, well, that pretty much like everybody experienced, like when it comes into either entrepreneurship or even trading overall. The friends that you're around, is gonna be like that first like thing that's gonna take a hit, because your friends that you're around, like they're so used to you doing a certain kind of thing, a certain kind of way, but all of a sudden like you're a whole different person that's pretty much focused on something that's not common, as far as not trying to get that new job or whatnot.
Yep.
And then pretty much dealing with people that say that you've changed, you're focused on money now, this and that, like that's another thing, you know what I'm saying? Like people have to realize like what do you plan on doing if you're not making money though? Like making money is like one of the biggest tools and everything that can actually help you bring you to that next level in whatever you're trying to do, investments, getting into schools or getting into programs. Like once you have like that cash flow coming in, like that's like that biggest factor that actually take you to that next level. And then another roadblock could be just you having that point in your growth of a skill that you might think that damn, like am I good enough, or damn, like do I know like what I'm doing? And technically, like you never really feel like you've mastered anything. Like one thing I never ever say that keeps me wanting to actually get better. Like I never ever say that I have mastered trading. Hell no. Because once you say that you master something, that's when you pretty much hit like a roadblock. You know what I'm saying? Like once you say that I'm really good at what I do, that leaves room for more improvement or anything like that. But what are some other roadblocks? Knowing how to actually go about your time management. You know what I'm saying? Like knowing how much time to actually put into your craft. And I tell everybody this, like if you're really counting the amount of time that you're putting towards a certain craft, then you don't really want it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't count how many hours I'm on the charts. Like if I'm on the charts, I'm on the charts. Like it could be for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, a whole day. It doesn't matter. Like all I know is that I'm trying to actually, I have a certain goal in mind for that time period of studying or whatever. And that's it. I'm not keeping track of time, because once you're keeping track of time, then you're limiting the amount of intake that you're getting based off of that knowledge. So like those are some things that I feel like people can actually get caught up on when it comes to trying to get to that next level. Trying to actually monitor how much time you're giving a certain craft versus actually just doing it because you're passionate about it.
Yeah. I love it. And that passion seems to be something that's very, very central to you. So when did you first develop this passion, and like how have you developed your why over time, and like your reason behind what you do?
I never lost my vision. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always, ever since a kid, cars and everything has always been like my goal in mind. And always said like, yo, like who's going to buy all the sports cars and supercars and everything? This job is not going to buy it. You know what I'm saying? So like, I got to figure out like, what can I do to actually, be able to actually afford these, I wouldn't say like lavish, but overall just like material things that I'm interested in. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm interested in cars. I'm interested in traveling, clothes here and there, but not too much. But cars is like one of my biggest things that I've always been passionate about. So like that always kept me on like the right track to just like want to be able to actually afford it in some sense. And just even I feel like, some people don't understand like this little concept like right here, like how we were always playing like Grand Theft Auto and that kind of shit, and always trying to like build up our life in Grand Theft Auto. But I tell people all the time, like our life that we're living, it could be that Grand Theft Auto career mode. You know what I'm saying? and we have so many cheat codes to get us to that next level. You know what I'm saying? Like all you gotta do is pretty much just put in time and apply it, and just like really understand like what your overall goal is for what you're actually trying to like live like. Because you could live like a minimalist, like fucking I'm Warren Buffett. You know what I'm saying? Like some people say that, oh, he never wears Gucci or he never wears Louis Vuitton. I get it, but that's not his thing. But his thing was business development and so on and so on. So that was his focus. But at the same time, like that's what actually kept him on like a certain path. A person's value might be cars. A person's value might be a sport that they're really interested in, a certain hobby. It could have been rollerblading or cycling or anything like that. But like whatever you have in mind to actually just get better at whatever you're currently doing, like that's that's the vision that you have to keep throughout the entire time as to when you're going about your craft development. Yeah.
That's the truth. That's the truth. So when you're developing your craft, when you're honing what you're good at, how do you set goals for yourself? Like, how do you figure out how you're going to get to that next level? How do you set these benchmarks that you want to hit?
I feel like you have to like look at how you're living in your current life. For example, like even like when I was coming up back in 2014, 2015, about even like how much income I'm pulling in a week. I have to actually gauge what is a lot or what is a little bit of money. Like that was actually based off of like my current cash flow for that point in time. Like in my current cash flow at that point in time was like $300-$400 every 2 weeks. So technically, like whenever I'm on charts now, if I make $200 in 2 days, $100 a day, then technically that is a lot based off of my cash flow that I was getting in 2 weeks. So like that could have been like one goal, like right there. You know, like that goal was based off like my current state in my life at that moment in time. So your goals and everything can be based off of where you currently are and where you're trying to actually go. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I always tell everybody, like try to have like a couple whiteboards in your house and like really, really be real with yourself as far as where you currently are, what your current income is, and then on the other side of the board, kind of like put what do you want to live like in a couple years? I never ever say like a set year because like my whole life, like where it is now, that all develops in 3-4 years. 3-4 years. That's all it took. It never took 5 years. Like 5 years is a long ass time. 10 years is a long ass time. So I always say this, like, you know, like what do you want to live like this in the future, or, you know, in a couple years, or like whatever. And then put that on the right side of the board, and then like kind of like put in between that right there as to like what has to be done to actually achieve that next point in your current state in your living, you know?
Okay.
So then from there, it's like a slow progress, but certain things happen. It's like so many small things that goes onto your daily life that can actually help benefit your main goal inside the future. But some people get so like lost in like understand like, yo, those small things that you're applying every single day, like they mean so much, but you're not going to see it because it's so like a minuscule the entire time. All right. But if you keep up those small goals and everything, or those small little habits that you're doing in your current day, it's going to eventually get to a point that it's going to open up more opportunities for you, or be able to make you get to that next level by even applying more pressure to your craft. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like when it comes to trading, like I trade to a point that I have a full clarity whenever I'm on the charts. Like I get on the charts like right now and pretty much profit. Like that's like what it is. Like to make $2,000 a day or $3,000 a day, that's definitely easy as fuck. Honestly, I've done that 1,000 amount of times already. But it's like me actually understanding that I know my craft to that level, I could apply more pressure to what I'm doing. So even if you're doing like e-commerce or like whatever, like you could pretty much put like more risk to your craft because you pretty much been studying, or you pretty much understand your craft to that extent. But I feel like just applying the pressure definitely helps you push to that next level. Like I have some friends as well that they trade also, but they could be doing a certain lot size the entire time. But all they need is just to apply that pressure just a little bit more, and all of a sudden they could be at that next level. But it's all about just like, you know, just taking that fucking mentality and just trying it out and see like what's possible if you just even try to dabble into like that next level, you know? Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Apply the pressure. Like that's the main thing, is apply the pressure, because you never know like what could actually be the outcome of applying that pressure.
That's the truth. So Q, I want to dive a little bit into trading right now for our listeners that might be a little bit interested in getting some exposure to trading. So talk to us a little bit about some basic stuff. Like if you say we got an 18-year-old here and he wants to get into trading, like what's some of the first things that you're going to tell this person who comes to you and they're like, I want to get started with trading. I don't have any idea what I'm talking about.
18. Okay. So 18 years old. So I'll put it in perspective this way. My youngest student right now in Wall Street Academy is 14 years old.
Wow.
He's pulling in like $200-$300 a day right now at 14 years old. Right. The best thing with a person that is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, like they're technically still in that stage in life that they're absorbing a lot more than they're just, you know, used to. Like a person that is 60 years old, they're harder to teach. You know what I'm saying? Because they haven't been studying for quite a while. They're out of school, versus understanding the concept that trading itself is so easy for you to actually learn now, because it's literally like another subject. Like you're going to school, you're learning science, math, English, like you're learning all that stuff. But what if trading was just another subject as well? Like you could easily absorb that same knowledge with the same amount of effort that you're applying with your math class or your science class and everything else. So it's like that's like the comprehension portion of it. It's not that hard to comprehend. To pretty much even like to be exposed to it now, like you have to first of all be interested in trading. Like one thing that I never ever do is like, try to actually convince anybody about trading, because at the end of the day, like if you're not even interested inside of it, then you're not going to really be like you're not going to take the time to understand all of the new lingos or so on and so on about it, because it's just a lot of terminology, a lot of things that you got to pretty much understand about the entire platform, everything. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot to freaking do, but I mean, it's more than capable for a person that's 18, especially, to comprehend this right here. But also knowing that there's so many places now that you can pretty much like learn how to trade. You know what I'm saying? Like trading is definitely super accessible to like the average person now, as long as they're in the right network to be able to get exposed to those points.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So like, what are some of the fundamentals? Like, what are some of like the basic building blocks that you're going to need if you want to be able to get yourself to that place?
I mean, you got to be mentally there, pretty much. You got to be open to being real with yourself, knowing yourself, because trading itself, it shows you who you really are, because you're dealing with like large sums of money and everything that could be, extracted from the markets every single day. But now you got to be real with yourself. Like if you're up, like let's say $300-$400 for the entire day in trading, and all of a sudden you're not closing your order, and now you're going negative. But technically, in your real life, you're only making $500 every 2 weeks, but you just made so and so that one day. So now you're super negative in your account from being a profit $400 or $500. And now technically, now you got to take a look at yourself as a person now. What did that just show? You're greedy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like you're greedy as hell. You pretty much are lying to yourself the entire time, because you had a reason to actually close the order and then pretty much be in profit, but then you were lying to yourself the entire time because you were trying to be greedy the entire time to actually make more money, even though that could have been your 2-week pay at your current job. So it's like the fundamentals are just pretty much like being mind strong. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that you're gonna lose money when you get inside the markets, like that's part of the game. But I always say, like, people that aren't willing to lose money, they're not willing to make money. That's like what it is. Like, that's what it comes down to. And then just pretty much being open to the journey. Like trading is a freaking journey. Like put it this way, like back in 2014, 2015, a big day to me was a $200 a day or $100 a day. Like that was a big day, quote unquote, to me at that point in time. But I mean, years later, a big day could be anywhere from $9,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. Like I've had those kind of days and everything when it comes to trading already. So technically, like the journey is so long, but you never ever know like where you're going to be in your journey. Next year. All that matters is that you're applying, or you're putting the required time that needs to be applied to actually reach those kind of milestones and everything inside your trading journey, because it's not easy. It's not anything that you can pretty much put like the minimum amount of effort in. You got to give it your all for at least like 6 months to actually gain that passion first, and then after that it's pretty much on autopilot, because you're gonna want to you're gonna want to pretty much get on the charts and just trade for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, because you see opportunities. Like you're gonna want to actually be obsessed with it once you pretty much find a network of people that's also interested in it the same exact way you are. But it's kind of just giving it those months of just straight time to actually find that passion for that brand new craft.
That's the truth. So I'm sure you've worked with so many students at this point. I'm sure you've seen some patterns. Thousands. Yeah, man. So like what
6,000, 7,000.
All right. So what are the differentiators? Like what are the things that separate the students that excel from the students that flop? Like what do you see as being some of the key differences between the people who have success and the people who don't?
The people the students that actually are successful in the course or on my course, or just like courses in period, like overall, like I feel like the things that separate the people that's doing good or the students that's doing bad is their ability to just be real with themselves. Like I was saying earlier, like people that get on like a course, even like on Wall Street Academy, like they get on and everything, and then all of a sudden like they're asking questions that's pretty much deep inside the entire course. Like, why are you rushing? Like, why are you rushing? Like some people get on a course thinking that they're gonna make money immediately when the person that has been on the course for a few months, like they're still slowly going through it to actually comprehend every little thing that's going on. So like when they get on the charts, they could actually apply what they're learning. So the people that actually just get on, like they're not being patient and they're not understanding that like this entire journey of trading is an entire process. You know what I'm saying? The process can consist of long nights, early mornings, studying for a massive amount of hours at a time. You actually being able to, you having to actually go on the charts, do a markup, analyze, see if things work out, see if things not work out. It's really just like a lot of trial and error based off of like how you're comprehending the material. So like people that are rushing it, they're not comprehending the material. Like there's a big difference from people that's watching a video and like comprehending a video. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody can turn on a TV and just stare at it. You know, technically you're watching it, but you're not really comprehending everything that's actually, you know, being shown to you versus the person that's actually slowly going through the entire course. Like they're actually understanding every little word that I'm saying, how I'm saying it, why I'm saying it, the reasons why it could be invalid after a certain amount of time. Everything pretty much matters. I'm saying like, every single word, every single thing that I'm showing, they're pretty much comprehending every little portion of it. So they're not rushing the process. So like the biggest difference from those two people is like the people that's willing to learn, they're not in a rush to get to that milestone in trading, like, because they understand like, yo, I could grind out now and then, you know, eventually I'll get to making $1,000 a day. People that's in a rush, they want to make $1,000 a day yesterday. Like that's how fast, you know. So yeah, so it's just overall like that patience factor, and then putting in the required time that's needed, putting in the required time that is needed to get to that next point. If you're being real with yourself now, you could kind of like say to yourself like, damn, like am I really studying like nonstop? Damn, like am I really on the charts and everything, not counting? Like if you're lying to yourself the entire time, then it's not gonna happen. You know, because some people would put in an hour of work, but to them that was good enough. You know, but then they have students that's actually making it happen. You know, they're on the charts nonstop. You know, so it's like just always being real with yourself in like that learning curve. It's gonna show when you're on the charts, because remember you're dealing with money now, real money, real change, real level ups that can happen in a matter of time. But if you're not putting in the time that is required to get to that next level, then you're not gonna see any kind of change.
That's the truth. You got to be extremely honest with yourself in trading and in any aspect of business. Because like if you're not honest with yourself, no one else is going to be honest with you.
Have to be like, is your business growing or is it being stagnant? Be real with yourself now. Like you could be optimistic in some sense, but you have to be real with yourself. Like, is shit really going like how I plan, or am I really doing what needs to be done to make it actually boom? If not, then you're not gonna see any kind of progress. So you have to be like I tell, like you could lie to people. That's one thing, but lying to yourself, like that's a whole different, you know, that's like a mental thing. Like lying to yourself is like probably the most worst thing that you could ever do. Like when it comes to business development or learning like a new skill set. Honestly,
that's the truth.
It'll show.
Yeah, I mean, people can see right through that. People see right through it.
Definitely.
So Q, one thing I noticed about you, just by your social media presence, that you have a very dedicated following. Like your followers love you. They are consuming all your content. They are just like everything you say, they are hanging on your every last word, man. So talk to us about how you were able to establish that following. We got a lot of listeners here who are interested in building their personal brand and really connecting with people. So how have you been able to craft this audience and really like build this dedicated tribe?
I mean, personally, like my following is fucking dope as shit, honestly. Like, I mean, my following started from like 2014, 2015, and
wow.
Keep in mind, like I've never ever used a bot. I've never ever paid for followers. I've never done anything. Like everything is just like natural. And I tell people all the time, like, why would you pay for followers when it's like you paying a person to pretty much, you know, be cool with you, or paying for a friend to a certain extent, right? Followers are free. You know what I'm saying? Making a friend is free, technically, in real life as well. And on the digital world, it could all be free. But now I'm thinking about who are you as a person to actually make them like you, you know? With me, like my following grew from the amount of value that I'm pushing out on a daily basis, in, you know, in the trading world or in this overall like social media influencer world. So I'm adding value, for people that's pretty much upcoming, so they could be more aware of like things that they could experience along that journey. I'm actually always posting some dope ass photos. You know, I'm posting stuff that people actually like to see. Like they love to see like the products that I show. They love to see the cars that I'm driving, like the cars that I have, um, developments and everything that I'm doing with like the builds that I'm doing with my cars. Um, they love to see, you know, like me and like my girlfriend and so on. Like they love to see like certain stuff. So it's like, you know, to show your life. Like that's the biggest thing. Like I'm not doing anything crazy. Like whenever I look at like my own Instagram, like every now and then I go through my own Instagram and I'm inspired. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, yo, this shit is dope. This shit is dope. You know, so because at times like I'm so in the moment that I kind of I forget, you know, what kind of dope ass shit that I was doing like last week. But I look back at it and I'm like, yo, listen, like that was so crazy. Like I was so like mind blown by it. So it's like, you know, just kind of like posting stuff that you would also be inspired by, or posting stuff that would also just like amaze you to even look at it. And also just like, you know, take pride in the quality of your photos. You know what I'm saying? Like don't take any like lame ass like friggin' VGA type photos. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, just take some high quality photos. Take photos that people would actually enjoy looking at. Your captions has to be on point. It could be motivational based. It could be something that could pretty much make people have more insight on a certain something. You know, like so photo qualities matter, captions matter. How often you're posting matters. How much you're taking advantage of the platform matters. Like I'm always on live. I'm always on my stories. Like my stories are always packed like every day.
Dude, your stories are crazy.
It's always packed. I'm always trying to do something. And then yeah, man, it's like just be real with yourself when you're on your own social media. You know, you can flex, yeah, but I mean, like, you know, it's flex, but also just like flex so people understand that you're also growing as well. Like you're not flexing with something that is not obtainable to you, but you're pretty much just still in like a growth stage. And then, yeah, man, just like this be real with yourself the entire time and be consistent with how you're posting on your social media, because a couple years ago, you know, I was only getting 10 likes, you know, and that was mind blowing. But now like my likes go from anywhere from on average like 3,500 to like around 11,000, you know. So I mean, it gets crazy, but the content that you're posting, that's what people want to see. Like people want to see certain things from you, from your profile. You know, kind of like what I said. It could be like my profits, my cars. It could be like lifestyle stuff, like I'm out flexing or I'm traveling. Yeah, man, just like, you know, just understand, like, you understand your following, understand what your followers want to actually see from you. You know, that's the biggest thing. So it's like learning all about like the analytics and everything when it comes to who's actually following you.
Okay. So like what made you want to get started with building a following in like 2014, 2015? Like what was the potential there? Why did you decide to start putting out content?
So pretty much like with the whole Instagram thing, like the whole Instagram wave, it came out like in 2014, 2015, like when everybody was starting actually, like at least like my whole niche that I was in, like we were converting from like Facebook to Instagram slowly. You know what I'm saying? So slowly I took like some of my followers from Facebook, you know, and then we slowly converted over to Instagram, started posting more and everything else like that. But initially, like the followers thing wasn't really a thing at first, but over time, like, you know, I impact more. Like my reach is greater at that point. So I could actually, you know, build a business faster. I could actually have more opinions on a certain thing that I might be doing, events that I'm doing. Like, so a bigger following, you know, impacts how successful to a certain extent that your business could be if you're leveraging your social media as well, you know? So that's what I do. Like I pretty much just understand that like social media can be used for a great amount of things, but like whatever I'm doing, I always try to like, you know, show my followers what I'm doing as well, so there can actually be an impact into that project also. It could be business-wise, it could be an event, It could be like even like a meet and greet. You know, like I post it on my Instagram story, and then all of a sudden I have like 40 people showing up to a meet and greet. You know, so like it works out just like that. Like just using your followers for what they can be used for. Like they can be used for influence. Like you could help impact how they're looking at things. Like I'll put them on game about certain things that you might see in your days. Like the other day I had actually did some it was like a random teacup thing. You know what I'm saying? Like this is how like crazy and dope my following is now, right? So I was drinking tea in the morning, and I was like, yo, look, like this, wrap the tea bag string around the handle, and then it could be like a anchor, and then like that alone, like people would love that. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm just always on like my social media, and I show like whatever I'm doing throughout my entire day, and I feel like that's what my followers like love about me. Like I don't really hide much. I just show like my life. Like my life is on like my social media, most of it at least. You know what I'm saying? But I'm open. You know what I'm saying? I'm just real open with how I'm living, and how others can actually benefit from seeing like where I am now from where I was.
Okay. So how do you balance like living your life and then like documenting it at the same time? Like, does that ever get in the way when you're trying to like record all this stuff?
I mean, not really. Because I feel like it's just a part of my day now. You know, like I pretty much understand what I could record. I understand like what I don't even want to record. I understand like when I'm living in the moment. Yeah, man. So like it's just like a nice balance of just when you're in the moment, all right, live in the moment. But at the end of the day, like if you're ever on any kind of event, like you could just post a photo or post a little video. I mean, and that's good enough. But just like not really trying to take out your phone at any opportunity, but just like if you have an opportunity to do it without actually affecting the impact of what you're trying to experience in your real life, then I mean, fuck it, take it out. Just record a little bit. It's all about documentation. Like people just want to see how you're living in any kind of way. It could be traveling stuff, anything. You know what I'm saying? To show it out, but just keep certain things personal, like your if you're fighting in a relationship, you know what I'm saying, keep that kind of stuff private. You know what I'm saying? It's like just use your common sense as to like what could be shown and what can't be shown, and just be smart about it.
Man, I'm so fascinated by the ability that we have to document our lives, because like looking back at like my grandparents, my great grandparents, I know very little about their lives, but like our grandkids, our great grandkids, they're gonna know so much about us.
It's gonna be dope because you can make like their like babies upcoming, like they're getting an Instagram from when they're fucking born. Like god damn, like so you're not gonna ever be that parent that says I have no baby photos of you. We have photos being taken every single day of anything. So in the next couple generations, like they're gonna have photos for every little like life, life, like as they're developing throughout life and everything, they're gonna have a photo for it. Like I only have like a couple photos of like when I was a baby, but trust me, like my daughter that's gonna be born in like about a month, like she's gonna have a bunch of photos of her like as she's growing up, so she could actually enjoy seeing her mom and her dad grow her. All the small things, like all the small videos, riding a bike, everything, you know what I'm saying? Like all of the fun times. So like all that's going to be documented. So, I mean, in time, like we're always developing as a humanity as well. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just sad to say that like, back in the 90s and everything, we never had enough cameras, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Like we're at a time now that we have cameras. So like, for that next generation, they could benefit. So it's all good.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Q, you've been dropping a ridiculous amount of value on our listeners here today. I got some questions that I like to ask all of my guests, though. Are you feeling ready for them?
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
All right, perfect. The first thing is like, what are you excited about right now? This could be in your business, in your life. Like what's something that has you genuinely excited?
I mean, new businesses. That's one. Like I'm always infatuated with like business development. So like I'm in like a couple new projects like right now that I'm really enjoying. So I mean, just seeing how that takes off, I'm super excited for that as well. And also like I'm at a next point in life, you know what I'm saying? Like I have a daughter on the way that's going to be born in like about a month, like I said before. So I'm super excited for that. And yeah, man, just kind of see like where things take off from there and how that impacts my life and what I'm doing. So I mean, it's just like I'm excited for family. I'm excited for growth in business, all that shit. So I mean, yeah, man, like I'm really enjoying like every single day of my life, and like how I'm going about things. You know what I'm saying? Like slow pace, fast pace. I'm taking advantage of it. I'm not going to really miss out on anything. So So yeah, I'm excited for, every little second of thing that's going on. Like right now, the 2019 has been a blessed year so far. Business wise, income wise, the following wise, value that I'm pushing out wise, everything, that's technology wise, everything, so I'm loving it.
Man, I can tell, dude. You just have this energy about you that is just like it's so positive.
Appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't take much effort to be positive. You know what I'm saying?
That's the truth.
It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like I just try to just impact people. Show people that there's different ways out here, and to see how they absorb that knowledge and everything is always great. Especially like on like I said, like if a person is just coming out of that 9 to 5 job, or like just coming out of like that 9 to 5 mentality, like they have so much to fucking learn, because like we are literally, as entrepreneurs, me and you and everybody that's listening now, like we have a different mindset as to how we look at things, on how we look at the entire world. You know what I'm saying? So like that's always amazing to just meet like another entrepreneur that's on like the same path, but just in like a different road.
Precisely, my man. Precisely.
Totally different.
So Q, talk to us about your habits, man. What are the things you do on a regular basis, whether that be in your business or in your life, that help you sort of get to that next level?
Damn, man. I try to like write down a lot of things that I'm doing throughout the entire day, like because I lose track of things a lot. I feel like, because I'm always like thinking like all over the place. So I'm always on like my notepad, like my notepad on my iPhone is always full. So like as I'm going through like my entire day, if I have dope ass ideas about something that could help me with business wise, or like branding wise, in any kind of way, what I'm saying, like I'm always trying to like document, like tackle like certain things on my notepad, like a little jot here and there. That's like one major habit. I'm always pretty much trying to knock out a lot of things early morning. Like I wake up around like 7 o'clock. From there, I try to work until like around like probably like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And I knock out most of like the emails and everything that I might have like backed up. Instagram messages, Facebook messages, Snapchat messages, like every fucking platform that I have, like I wake up to a ton of messages every single time. So I mean, like I have a lot of time to just like dedicate to that every single day. But some people ask me like, why don't I have like an assistant? Because I don't have an assistant, because I like to be, I like when people call me, because like my number is public, like anybody can call me. Like I like when people call me and I answer like, oh shit, like I thought this phone didn't even work, this and that, this and that. I was like, yeah, man, like what's good? You know what I'm saying? Like because I like to just like really be close with the people that that's following me, that I can actually help impact. So I mean, that's like one major thing. And just yeah, man, I feel like I don't really have a lot of like daily routine, because every single day is different in some kind of way. I wake up and like my day is set out within the first probably 5 hours. So like come like 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, I have plans for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, after this, I have to go and drop off teas to actually make for my new like the bullish drop that I'm doing soon. I have to go pick up my BMW that's getting unwrapped like right now. I have to go drop off my Porsche that's about to get wrapped. Like I have a lot to freaking do, man. And then after that, I have to go to the gym, stay fit. Like stay fitness is everything. And then, yeah, man. So like from there, it just kind of just goes. So like I don't really plan too much. I live in the moment. I just like as my days go on and everything, I just like find new things and everything that I can do, and just I'm living a moment, man. Like I don't have to plan too much.
That's the truth, man. That is the truth. I'm so with you. So Q, I know you're putting out a ridiculous amount of content, but like what kind of content are you consuming right now? You like listening to any podcasts, subscribe to any YouTube channels, books?
Yeah, honestly, like I could probably show you like a bunch of books like real quick too.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of books, man. I have a book that's also called The Principles. It's by I think
Ray Dalio.
Yeah. You know about it, right? The 4-Hour Work Week.
Oh, classic.
There are no power.
Yup.
I have to even read this right here as well. It's called The Birth Partner.
There we go. That's applicable.
Because that's helping me with the baby and everything. Day trading stuff, like some small stuff. I have books fucking everywhere, man. So it's like that. Gary V. I fuck with Gary V heavy. Jex in the city. JEX in the city. Like his Instagram is dope. He has a dope ass podcast. I fuck with that. I fuck with his mentality as well. And yeah, so like in a bunch of other podcasts that I actually just like, dabble in throughout the entire day and everything, man. But yeah, so like I just try to consume that kind of stuff, and I try to like, mingle with people and everything that have the same mentality, like this, like around like my circle and whatnot. See what they're consuming, so I could actually consume as well. And yeah, and then from there it's kind of just like, just, I'm living in the moment, like once again, just daily experiences. So
that's the truth. Q, one thing I'm always curious about is like what my guests do that doesn't scale. And clearly there's a lot of things for you, but like one quick example to give you some context, I'll pull out my phone every single day and send about 5 to 10 video DMs to new followers. Just basically be like, hey, what's up? Thank you so much for the follow, whatever their name is. I appreciate it. My name's Apple. If there's any way that I can help you out, let me know. Have a wonderful day. So I'm super simple like that. And clearly like you've built this very loyal following. So I'm sure there's a lot of things you do. Like you said, your phone number, but like what are some things that come to mind that had that personal like Q Banks touch?
Man, everything, man.
I know.
No. And I swear to God, when I say this right here, like, Q Banks is not scalable. Q Banks is a brand in itself. What I'm saying? Like, you have Wall Street Academy, but then you have Q Banks, which is like, it's like it's its own thing. But like my in-person classes that I do, like that's not scalable because for the main fact that I had people that looked me in my face and said like, yo, bro, like, I mean, we paid for this course for you. Like, we want to hear from nobody else. We want to hear from you, your mentality, your everything. And I have to accept that, like, and I have to actually just respect, their mindset on that alone. And I'm not going to change that. Certain things like, me answering the phone, like I said before, like I answer my own phone because these are my students, my clients, my following, and they want to hear from me, like nobody else. Like it will suck for a person to call the phone and, hi, you reached Wall Street Academy. How am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like, I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to redirect my call to anybody else. Like, I'm just like one direct number away. Call me, ask me any kind of questions. Like, we could talk. It doesn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? That how I'm going about, like, even like on my Instagram, I do like a lot of voice notes on there as well. Just kind of like, instead of typing everything out, I just like do a long ass voice note. That's not scalable. So yeah, man, like I feel like me and like my entire brand itself is not scalable because I do everything on like a personal note, Yeah.
That's the truth. Q, you've dropped so much wisdom and value and just like amazingness on our listeners here today, man. I really appreciate it. Let our listeners know where they can go if they want to follow up with you, find out more about you, Wall Street Academy, all that good stuff.
Well, first things first, you got to follow your boy on Instagram at QBanks, BANKS, QBanks. You can even check out my YouTube as well, youtube.com/QBanks as well. Twitter, QBanks as well. And also, if you're interested in trading Forex or trading indexes, currencies, anything that I'm doing, like when it comes to like Wall Street Academy, go to wsatraining.com. That's wsatraining.com. And then check out the packages. Like you can check out the in-person courses or you can check out the online courses. That's really like your choice. But either way that you go about it, you could definitely benefit for the long run though. Yeah.
Awesome. And I'll link up all those in the show notes for this episode as well for all of y'all that need to check those out because, I mean, Q is dropping ridiculous value everywhere you see him. I mean, this guy is omnipresent. He is bringing the heat wherever he's at. So Q, again, thank you so much for your time, man. Do you have any last closing thoughts, words of wisdom you want to close out the show with today?
I mean, damn, man. Like I said before, like the biggest thing that you can do with yourself, as you're growing as a person, just be real with yourself where you currently are in your life. Like I said, just be real with yourself. Like I said, like lying to somebody else is one thing, but you can't lie to yourself though. That and also never losing your vision in mind. You know what I'm saying? Like as a kid, people have the biggest imaginations, but as they grow up and everything, like that imagination kind of just like dwindles down to nothing. You know what I'm saying? So just keeping like that imagination strong to how you want to live in your future, no matter how extravagant it is. You know what I'm saying? Like dream big. It doesn't make sense to dream small.
Truth, man. Q, dropping facts, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Young Smart Money. If you want to support the show, you can do so in 3 different ways. You can subscribe, you can leave me 5, and you can share this episode with a friend. To subscribe, all you got to do is click the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts. To leave me 5, all you got to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom of the podcast's page for Young Smart Money and click on the Write a Review button. And to share with a friend, all you got to do is screenshot yourself listening to this episode, post it on your Instagram story, tag me, and I will be sure to repost it in my Instagram story as well. I love giving you guys some attention who are listening to the show. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Real quick, just launched a new project called the Online Course Examiner, basically the Yelp of online courses. It is blowing up lately, onlinecourseexaminer.com. Check it out.